Welcome to the Loving Yourself podcast with emotional intelligence and self care life coach, Pastor Tammy Wilson. The goal of this podcast is to empower you to be the very best you that you can be. We will talk about self care, setting boundaries, emotional intelligence, and much, much more. Join us now for a broadcast already in progress.
Hello, I am Pastor Tammy with Loving Yourself podcast. Thank you again for joining me on another podcast. We are talking about setting healthy boundaries. This is like the third podcast that we're going to deal with setting healthy boundaries. And today we want to talk about the beauty of boundaries. The beauty of boundaries. Saying no and saying yes. Saying no and saying yes. So yes, sets a boundary and no sets a boundary. So let's talk about the yes a little bit. The yes is it's a gift that you should choose to use because you have an option to say yes or say no. It's always a choice, but you should choose to say yes sometimes. Yes can change to a no a little bit later, and that's okay. If you're okay with your yes now and something goes wrong or something you don't like, you can pull out. You can say, nope, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So then your yes can be changed to a no later on, and that's quite all right. Yes is a feeling. You embrace the feeling. It's like embracing a place of gratitude in your life. Yes, I'm so excited. Yes, I want to be a part. Yes, I want to do that. Yes, I want to go. Yes, I want to overcome. In order to move forward in any place in your life, you have to have a yes. Because the yes says, I want change. The yes says, I want more. The yes also says, I'm ready. There's no need to say yes if you're not really ready for what's to come. So you got to use that yes to embrace whatever it is that's coming into your life for your good. The things that's going to make you better, the things that's going to make you wiser and stronger. You have to say yes to healthy things. You know, I'm on this new health tip now, and you know, you have to say yes to fruit. Say yes to drinking your water. Say yes to walking. My husband and I went walking today. First he was like, I'm going home to lay down. I said, well, I'm going walking. And before I know it, he was going walking too, because that yes brings something positive into your life. It helps you feel better. It helps you become a better person. Yes also builds your confidence. Because listen, when somebody tells you that you can do something and you're like, no, I can't really do that. I'm not qualified for that. But when you change that to a yes, and I think it was somewhere along the line you made up in your mind that you could, Obama said, yes, we can. Yes, I can. So you have to get to the place to where you understand that yes builds your confidence. When you say yes, you may not feel 100% sure that you can accomplish it. But when you say yes and you stand on your yes, yes just sometimes gives you that motivation and that energy that you need to get things done. Because when you always say, no, I'm not going to do it. No, you're going to stay right there in that dull place. But when you say yes, it's like you become vibrant and you become energized. It's like, yes. So you move in proximity to the place to where you need to be so that you can be who you're supposed to be. Yes inspires others to say yes. Because I said yes, then somebody else could say yes. Because I said yes to the things that I was intimidated by and afraid of, then somebody else can say, you know what? If she did it, I can do it. Your yes brings hope alive for somebody else. So hold on to your yes. Understand that yes is just as important as the no. So now let's talk about the no. No is not a bad word. Let's just erase that from my mind. No is not a bad word because no is a boundary. It's you use no to set a boundary because the fact of the matter is some things you're not okay with and some things you just cannot do. We can't allow people to pressure us into doing things that we know we're not ready for, we're not comfortable with. You can't allow people to pressure you into doing those things because after a little while, you're going to be miserable. You're going to be sad. You're going to be brokenhearted. You're going to feel bad because you said yes when you should have said no. You have to know when it's good to say yes and when it's good to say no. No can follow an initial yes. I think I said that before, or it's the other way around. You can say yes and then change your mind to no. It's okay. No, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I was okay with it at first, but when things changed, when it went a different route, a different direction, you know what? I think I'm going to, fall back a little bit. That's your choice. People have to be okay with your choice. No is very, very powerful because your no can save you from so many things down the road. Your no can save you from depression. Your no can say there's a lot of things that we welcome in our life that we are really not ready for. And then we find out we can't really handle it like we thought we could. So then we're depressed and we're aggravated and we're frustrated because you moved too fast. You invited things in too quickly. There are things that are set for you in its own timing. The Bible says to everything there's a time and there is a season. It may not be time for you to walk down that road. It may not be time for you to marry that person. It may not be time for you to move from this job to the next job or this career to the next career. A lot of things require preparation. You have to prepare. You have to prepare properly. And when you don't prepare, if you don't seek the therapy and the counseling and the coaching, if you don't get healed, and you automatically welcome things that you're not really prepared for, then you're going to cause chaos for somebody else. You're going to cause dilemmas and trauma for someone else when all you had to do is take your time, slow down, say no for the moment, and work on moving towards the yes. Work on moving towards the yes. Understand that no is a right, not a privilege. No is a right. It's not a privilege. You have a right to say no. You have a right to do how you want to do and what you want to do, as long as it's for your good and your best interest. I said that earlier on the yes. People look at you when you're making decisions and say, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. But do understand some things are really not a privilege. It's a right. I have a right to be happy. I have a right to make my own choices to make sure that my family is good. I have a right to look out for my children. So if I don't want them spending the night at everybody's house, then you know what? I have a right. And most of the time, people make those decisions because they've had some issues in their childhood and they understand things happen and kids, things happen. So it's their right to say no. It's their right to choose the choices that they choose. And you have to be okay with other people's no, and other people should be okay with your no. We have to stop crossing everybody else's boundaries and stop trying to make people feel like just because they say no that they're bad people or that listen, sometimes people aren't ready for what you're ready for. they're not ready to go in the direction that you are ready to go in. So you have to just kind of like fall back and let them come around. And it may not take long. It may only take a month or so. But some people, it may take a year. You may look down the road, next year and say, wow, they finally got it. Wow, they finally did it. They're finally ready. I found out when you allow people to make their own choices, make their own mistakes, set their own boundaries, when it's time to shift, then when they shift, the shift will last. Because if you pressure people into doing things that you want them to do just because you feel like it's the best thing for them and they're not ready for it, it won't last. They'll do it for a little while, and then before you know it, they're going right back to doing the same things that they were doing before because they were not ready. So they were in the no moment. Allow them to have that moment. Allow them to stay in the no as long as they need to until they graduate to the yes. Because sometimes getting to the yes is gradual. Don't make people feel bad because they're saying no. We have to be very, very careful about that, because when we do that, we become selfish, very selfish, very, very selfish when we want things the way we want it and when we want it. But we have to realize that people are people, especially adults. They have to make their own decisions. Saying no takes courage. Because most of the time, if you tell a person no when they want you to say yes, you already know they're going to be upset with you. They're going to be mad. They're going to be angry. They're going to be frustrated because they thought that you were going to say yes. But if you're not ready, say no. It takes courage to do that. Because saying no, sometimes you may lose some friends, but they're not really your friends anyway if they can't respect your boundaries. Saying no, it keeps you within the perimeters of your integrity. When you say no, it helps you to hold on to your integrity, because most of the time when you say yes and you're not really okay with the yes, you're going to end up going back on your word. You're going to end up not showing up. How many times have we said, yeah, I'll be there, I'll go. You make this commitment for 3 months. In the first month, you're okay. In the last 2 months, you dropped out. You're not going. I'm just not feeling it anymore. Well, you really weren't feeling it in the first place, but because you allowed someone to talk you into it, then all of a sudden, yeah, you kind of got to that place to where I'm just not going. I'm not going back. Saying no prevents you from being exploited. It prevents you from having people take advantage of you, having people get things from you that you're not ready or willing to give. When you don't say no, then you end up giving your time, your efforts, your energy, and all these other things where people are just really, really take, and they're not giving back to you. They're not pouring back into you. So you find yourself being exploited because you simply did not say no. You got to learn how to say no, because no keeps you from doing things that you really don't want to do. And on the other side, saying no teaches people how to treat you. It teaches people how you would like to be treated. Let's put it like that. How you would like to be treated. No, you're not going to do that to me. No, you're not going to say that to me. No, you're not going to treat me that way. No, I'm not going to put up with that. No, I'm not going to deal with that. I don't have to deal with that. No is just as powerful as your yes. And no can help you better define your yes, because your no helps you settle down and find out what you really want. It helps you settle down to find out your worth. It helps you settle down and find out what your core values are. And when you know what your core values are, then you know what you can really say yes to and what you really need to say no to. Because I said it before in the previous podcast, you don't have to be mean, nasty, or hateful with your yes or your no. You just have to be assertive. Say what you mean what you say, and stick to it. As long as you stick to it, as long as you need to, stick to it, as long as you need to it, then everything will be okay. As long as you need to stick to your no, then when it's time to say yes, you can smoothly shift into your yes. And you'll be a much better person. You'll be more at peace about your yes because you took the time to get there. You took the time to get to that new place. It's okay to embrace the new place when you are ready to embrace the new place. Many times we move too fast, we shift too quickly, and when we get to a new place, we're like, oh, I didn't expect this. I didn't know that this was going to be like this. I didn't know that this is what was required. I didn't know that this is what is happening. All because you didn't prepare. When you're in no, the season of no, then you can take the time to prepare for the yes. But that takes research. It takes work. You don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to go be an attorney. You got to say no to some things first. What am I saying? You have to say no to hanging out late, staying up really late. Because when you're preparing to go to school to be a lawyer, attorney, it's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some new study habits. It's going to take some friends not being able to come over as often, because that no has to be in place first before you can ever get to your yes. You have to say no to the things that are not healthy for you in that moment so that you can embrace your yes. There's no way that you can get to the new place, a healthier place, if you're not saying no to the unhealthy things that you were first acclimated to and that you had adapted to. Change does not feel good. Most of the time, it does not feel good, but it's for your good. Things that are that most of the time look good, smell good, taste good, is not always good for you. The fast food, it's not always good for you. You have to learn how to start preparing those healthier meals and meal prepping and doing those type of things. And you should not be eating out every day. I had to, I got to a point to where we were eating out all the time. And I said, you know what? I'm trying to get rid of this weight. So let me just put some salmon in the air fryer, get a little organic fresh spinach, and, do something a little more simple but healthier. So then, I cut out the French fries and the sodas and all of those things, and I feel so much better. Me personally, I don't eat the beef or pork anymore, and I feel so much better. You have to know what's best for you. You have to know when it's time to say no. I love French fries. So I had to say no to the French fries. And most of the time, if I go out, I'll get a baked sweet potato, maybe a baked potato. But, you have to know how to make better choices. When you're making better choices, you always have to say no to the things that are not good for you. You say no to the things that are not good for you and yes to the things that are better for you. Listen, I'm Pastor Tammy. Thank you so much for joining me in the Loving Yourself podcast. I will be here every Monday with something new, something fresh to help you embrace your self-care, help you to learn to love yourself, help you to learn how to treat yourself a little better than you have been treating yourself. Because a lot of times we focus on everybody else, but we don't do too well with focusing on ourselves and what's best for us. I often say you have to be able to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. If you're on a plane, they're going to tell you first. If the plane goes down, something happens, if there's some type of dilemma, pull that oxygen mask down first, put it upon you, and then once you get your breath, once you get okay, then you can help someone else. But if you don't do it, then you can't save anybody else and everybody will be lost. So someone has to make the right decision to save themselves first. Does that mean being selfish? No, it does not. That means I need to make sure I'm okay so that I can make sure you're okay. So join me again next Monday on the Loving Yourself podcast. You can find me on any podcast outlet. Thank you for being with me on this day, and I hope to see you again. God bless, and listen, you matter.